Okay, it gives me great pleasure to welcome up our first speaker of the evening, the father of the groom, Paul.
Just hold on, your shoes a bit way. Well, good evening all. First, I'd just like to thank all you people that have come a long way to join us this evening to make it a great night. And the next thing I'd like to say is that I'd like to thank Victor and his family for welcoming Mitchell into their family so well, helping him out with building and what have you. It's been a nice introduction for him into the Sorokin family. So I'd just like to say that I'd just like to welcome the Sorokin family and now joining the Bakers family, and hope it's a long and, how would you put it, successful union, fruitful union, whatever you like to call it. But some of you don't know Mitchell's early life, so to speak, so I thought I'd just give you a little bit of background. Well, Mitchell was the youngest in our family. He had two older sisters, and when Mitchell was born, it was left to the three wise ladies, Sue and the two girls, to bring him up. I was probably more of an observer rather than a helper, but I do notice that through his life, you observe a few different things. And I remember him coming home from school one day. This is when he was in high school. And he said he'd come, I think, second in the high jump. And I thought, well, Steph, you'd vouch for this, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Yeah, right, okay. Yeah, anyway, and I thought to myself, well, Mitchell wasn't the tallest guy in the class. And I thought to myself, he must have had some kind of talent at high jumping. And then I got thinking, I thought, I know what happened. I know what that was all about. So back when he was about 3 or 4 years old, and he used to get into strife, well, Mitchell was a very good escape artist. And what he used to do, he used to dive out through the bedroom window when Sue was after him with a wooden spoon, you see. And I reckon he practiced his Western roll going straight through the window, because he was very quick. And if Sue decided to cut him off at the pass, and after he jumped through the window, then he had to jump over the rear fence, which was a barbed wire fence, and he was pretty quick at getting over that. So I thought, no wonder he was a good high jumper by the time he got to high school. But there was... And as time rolled on, we were building a shack over the island. By this stage, he would have been about, 8 or 9. And he used to go at first he'd do all these crazy things with Alice over the island. That's his second sister. But of course, Alice got a bit older and he became a younger brother, and she was interested in other things. And then Mitchell decided he'd just take off on his bike. So I'd be working away in the shack because I was building it for a couple of years on and off. And he'd go, just take his bike and just ride out into the back blocks behind where the shack was. And it was a fantastic area, natural environment and so forth. And he'd come back with all these tall stories of giant kangaroos and snakes 10 feet long, bloody goannas and echidnas. And he had this beehive that was his favourite, and he used to hang from this tree. I think it was about 2 years before he actually saw it, and... Anyway, he had a great life out there, and it was just like a magical world for him. So to me, after all these adventures there, and up home we had about 30 acres around our property, and he used to shayak up over this pine tree in the backyard. And the pine tree would have been about 20 to 30 metres high. Well, it was many a time he went up the pine tree. A few times it was when Sue was after him. And it was like an eagle's nest up there, because we were on top of a hill. And I think back and think, when you look at his background, he always had space around him. And he was always doing, exploring and so forth. And it's little wonder that when he grew up, he went overseas and did lots of trips and tried all these different things. And, and that's why he likes his surfing and his fishing and all the rest of it, because he was by the sea and all the rest of it, through his younger days, So, I think it was quite a good upbringing. And but the other thing I'd just like to top off by saying, at the end of last 2 or 3 weeks ago, Mitchell had his buck show, and we all went over to York Peninsula, and I dropped over along with Victor, and it was quite an eclectic mix of mates he's got, and it was quite interesting being an observer, because I got to talk to a few of them, and I thought to myself, apart from the fact of I wouldn't take much notice of their dress sense, Mitchell, but apart from that, I thought, well, actually, they haven't led you too far off the straight and narrow, for want of a better term, and it was quite a good weekend, and it made me appreciate more of his mates and so forth, because you tend not to. I mean, Mitchell lives his own life these days, and usually it's a phone call or something. Oh, I need so and so, and then you don't see him for a few weeks. Oh, I need so and so. It's now that he's building a house, or it's fixing his car or whatever. So it's just but it was good to see his mates and find out a whole lot more about him. I knew a few of the suspects, namely the ones in the bridal party, but a lot of you other guys I hadn't met until that trip. So it was quite good. So I'd say to you, Alicia, I hope you've got the leash still, and just let it in now as you need to. and I just wish you all the best. And I think we should have a toast to Mitchell and Alicia. Thank you very much.
A round of applause for Paul, ladies and gentlemen. Let's keep that applause going while we welcome our next speaker, Mitch's groomsman, Stefan. That's it. Thank you for your welcome.
Thanks, Paul, for that. That was awesome. I've known Mitch for a long time, and when we were growing up and we were in our 20s going out, Mitch was always pretty good with the ladies, I'll tell you what. And it came down to one, self-confessed factor from Mitch, and that came down to one word, and that's confidence. In fact, anyone that knows Mitch will know that he's great at being confident, even when he literally has no idea what he's even talking about. Anyone that's lived with Mitch will know he runs a pretty tight ship. And, he'd put a huge list of things up on the fridge of all the jobs that, need to be done, and he quickly put his name next to all the real easy ones that take a couple of minutes to be done, and then it was just pointing out all those ones that still need to be done. It's these still, pointing those out. He's actually really good at lists, and when we go for a trip away and we're on holiday, as soon as we get to the location, he'll write this massive list of things that he's going to do over that weekend. It's huge list of things. And to be fair, it's generally too big that you could possibly even achieve during that weekend. But to be fair, he'd have a pretty solid crack at getting a lot of those things done. I was actually living with Mitch when he first started chatting with Leash. Before physically even meeting her, the pair spent like almost an entire month chatting with each other online, and like you could tell he was really into her. He was playing his best slow game. I'm glad though after all that time that he didn't get catfished. Many of you guys will know this, but it actually took Mitch's folks and Leisha's folks a couple of years into the relationship before they even, got together to meet each other. But anyway, one of the things that did become clear after seeing Mitch together, Mitch and Leash, was that they always would bring out the best in each other. And this is one of the hallmarks of a really strong relationship. Mitch with his high energy, can-do attitude, and Leash with her grounding, calm, caring nature, and most importantly, someone to call him out on his bullshit. I wish these two really good friends the very best for a life together filled with happiness. Cheers.
Oh, sorry, mate. I'll just introduce myself. Thanks, mate.
That's all right. Stefan's just cutting out the middleman. All right, let's give a massive round of applause for Stefan and keep it going while we welcome up our final speaker of the evening, our groom, Mitch.
Thank you, mate. Cheers. Thanks, Stefan. Thanks, Dad. Thanks, Victor. I'll get up on here, shall I? Let's do this. Been wanting to do that since we booked this place 12 months ago. Firstly, I just want to say thanks to everyone for coming today. We hope you enjoyed the day as much as we have. Thanks to everybody for their contributions today. Without these, we wouldn't have been able to make today happen the way Leash dreamed of. So thank you very much. We made it here, finally. It felt like an eternity, and to be honest, I wasn't sure what would come first, marriage or baldness. If you look at me from the front, you won't see nothing. Leash slaved over today, especially over those little limoncellos on your table, so thank you for those, and I hope you enjoy them. Hopefully they make it home. Leash, I think I speak for all of us when I say you've done an incredible job today. The place looks bloody amazing.
Yeah.
Knowing our friends, we threw some non-alcoholic beer and champagne in the drinks list, and we hope that this would keep our pisshead mates standing long enough to be able to dance later on. I'm looking at you lot. I think we've had mixed results. I want to thank our friends and family who travelled today. We've got people from every state. A special thank you to Mark Baker, who travelled all the way from Sandy Point. You've done an incredible job. That was one of the biggest treks. I think that was one of the biggest treks, except maybe Tassie, but you guys are young, you can handle it. I want to Sandy Point, you get it. Have a look. Look it up on Google. I want to thank our junior bridal party, Lila, Ava, Chase, Darcy, Ocean, and of course Denver. You might not be able to hear me, but you've probably left. But thanks for being part of our wedding. Thanks for the parents for helping. They did an amazing job. I think everyone would agree. The bridesmaids, Kirsty, Cara, Hillary, you look amazing tonight. Thank you for supporting Leash. Give them a round of applause. You did a great job at the hen show. She was really appreciative of that. So thank you very much. To my groomsmen, you guys have been awesome today. We couldn't have asked for a better group of guys to walk my now wife back out of the aisle, so thank you very much. Adrian, you've been my best mate since early high school. Dad, you stuffed that one up. We've each had each other's back always. It feels like so long ago that I stood in your line at your wedding and got shit on by that magpie. Clearly that brought me enough luck to be here today with Leash. Adrian, you got 4 girls of your own and you're all the wiser for it. All I can say is, mate, that's 4 weddings I hope you've been saving. Adrian once told me that to have an easy life, you need to have hard conversations. And sometimes it includes having those conversations with yourself. Although, as Alicia keeps telling me frequently, Mitch, stop talking to yourself. Stefan, at times, mate, you can be a bull in a china shop. He has this tendency to break nearly anything he comes into contact with. You could give this guy a wrecking ball, he'd probably break it in half. But, mate, you're an inspiration. I hope I can one day have even half the positivity that you bring to your life. And it shows, mate, with what you've established in Great Southern Reef Foundation. The world needs more people like you, mate. Maddie and Sam, they got the best job in the house. They just get to be a bit part of the day without any of the responsibility. All I asked of them this morning was to stand there and look pretty, and neither of them can even do that.
You're pretty, mate.
Maddie was once called an underwater porcelain technician. For anyone that doesn't know, that's a dishy at Cafe Bravo's on the parade in Norwood. Maddie is an incredibly talented photographer now. He actually took some great photos of me and Leash for our engagement, and thankfully we got him before anyone realised he was any good and it didn't cost us a thing. Sam, you're always keen to go spearing or surfing, and if you can manage it, that's one of the best things about you, mate. And you're always keen to get out there and live life. In fact, going spearfishing is probably one of the only things you don't procrastinate about. Sam's also pretty good at telling me off if I accidentally go over the fish limits, just quietly. You got a real cool head and a moral compass, mate. I've always trusted and valued your opinion because I know that you'll tell it straight and it's always good advice. I'd also like to thank our parents. So, Mum and Dad, thank you for all your help and support over the years. Growing up, you always reminded me that I could always achieve something if I applied myself. You taught me my work ethic, which is a testament to the fact that you taught me how to hold a broomstick not long after I learned how to walk. Mum, I believe my resilience is proportional to the number of wooden spoons you broke over my backside. It didn't seem to matter how many you broke, there was always another one ready to go. I'll never forget coming home from a year in Asia on Christmas Eve in 2014 without telling you. I showed up at your place and you cried when you opened the door. Little did I know you were actually crying because you knew you'd be staying there. I knew I'd be staying there for 6 months. But knowing that I always had a place to stay was always something I appreciated, so thank you. Dad, you've shown me that it really is possible to fix or build just about anything myself. Also, a special thanks for the 5 tonnes of rubble that you donated to our front lawn before we knocked down our house last year so you didn't have to pay dumping fees. I'm still finding pieces of your old roof tiles 12 months later. I also would like to thank you for what you have both taught me over the years, including how to catch mice while you're sleeping using a bucket of water and a wine bottle, how to chop firewood using a 2-man saw from the 1920s, and how to make an aluminium dinghy last 20 years longer than it should with silicone and a baler made out of a milk bottle. Thank you for all of these experiences that have had a lasting effect on me, and thank you for accepting Leash into our family and making her feel welcome. To Alicia's parents, Linda and Vic, I really can't express how much gratitude I feel towards both of you. You've taken me into your family. You've put Leash and I up in your house. You've cooked and cleaned after us while you built Leash and I a house for the last year. And yeah, I know what you're all thinking. It does feel like 10 years. But really, your hospitality has made what has been a very challenging and busy year a lot easier on us. You've made me feel warmly welcome in your family and made Leash and I feel that help will always be there if we need it. Linda, you've cooked Russian food for me, all of which I've loved except for Holy Jets. I'll never eat that again. Victor, you've taught me some Russian words which I'll continue to pronounce badly, and you've taught me a thing or two about building a house. In an uncanny similarity in my dad, Victor also showed me how to save money on fuel by adding used engine oil to his ute, saving reportedly 50 cents a litre. I want to congratulate you both on raising such a wonderful and beautiful daughter. And lastly, I want to thank the star of the show, my wife, Leash. Leash, you look absolutely stunning tonight. I'm so glad to be here with you. You've been by my side more than ever as we planned the wedding and navigated the craziness that was the last year. So yes, we met on Tinder. I know the celebrant had a bit of a different story, and Alicia will say that we talked for several weeks while she was away before we even met, and that if I was a keeper, I'd hold out to meet her. But really, I was using those few weeks of chit-chat to make sure she wasn't catfishing me. You stole my joke, mate. On our first date, Leash came to my house in the morning to pick me up on our way to the beach. She knocked, and as I opened the door, I fell in love on the spot. There stood this beautiful blue-eyed border collie she called Denver. She says she didn't, but Alicia went in for the first kiss. I was actually just reaching over her to grab my beer, and I think she thought I was going in for the kiss. As I grabbed my beer, I looked at Alicia, who had her eyes closed and was leaning in. Luckily, I realised what was going on and quickly enough to recover and save the date. I remember on another of our first dates, we went out for lunch. Leash ordered a double cheeseburger with fries and a side of garlic with a pint of beer. I thought to myself, yeah, this is the girl for me. When Leash moved to my house, I started to notice that all of a sudden the house was full of plants, air freshener and candles. All of a sudden I couldn't find the soap for the skin products. Once a week, my dirty clothes would appear magically washed on the end of my bed. I found that my sleeping position had moved from the central region of the bed to the very outer region. I learned that Leash has great taste in music. She's not very good at singing, but I do enjoy listening to her try. Two of Leash's greatest qualities is her love for fishing and her hate for shopping. I couldn't ask for a better woman. If I did, Alicia would kill me. Over the years of being with Leash, I began to see similarities in how I felt about Leash to how I felt about my boat. For example, I love my boat unconditionally. I generally spend endless amounts of money on them with pretty mixed results. They can be hard to get going in the morning sometimes. I found the more attention you give them and listen to them, the better they operate. Bobbing up and down together is ultimately inevitable. And at the end of the day, you'll always take her home and you just can't wait to take her out again. Leash, I'm so proud of your hard work over the last year. You're doing really well in your role and already studying to advance your career further. It's obvious that they value you at Benson's by how they've chosen to invest in you. You've done all of this while studying, living at home, and in the middle of building and planning a wedding. I've been so impressed by how you've taken all of this on and managed to be there for me. I couldn't be more proud of you. Thank you for being my best friend and my soulmate. I love you. Can you all charge your glasses and join me in a toast to the most beautiful woman I know, my wife Alicia.
Yeah, let's give it up for Mitch, ladies and gentlemen. That was unreal.
You killed it, bro. Hey, round two.
Vic, did you want to get up here again, or are you all good? All good? All right, cool. Just thought I'd check. All good. And now I'll kiss you.
Yeah, you better kiss her.
Oh, okay, he's doing it.
trying to avoid this.
I'll stand up here with you if you like.
It's all good. Yeah. No. So you guys, really good speeches. I'm bit more on a serious note. She's my daughter, and I wrote down a few things that I want to say, and I hope you guys got ears on. So I'm Vic, Australia. Alicia's dad, proud dad, and Mitch's new father-in-law. So. It's a privilege to welcome all you guys that came over from. A lot of people came from, like everyone said, from every part of Australia, and especially Alicia's uncles and aunties. They're all made an effort and came, and we are absolutely honoured that you guys, everyone that came, even from Mitchell's side, I think there was a lot of people that came over, and we are very honoured. I'd like to thank everyone who helped with all the preparations for this event. It's even though Alicia and Mitch, right from the start, from the engagement, they really went out of the way and they made this event happen all by themselves. And even just as well, because they started building 2 houses in the same year that they're trying to, do this wedding. So, need I say any more? There was hectic. So, we are happy to officially welcome you, Mitch, into our family. Welcome Alicia's new in-laws, Paul and Sue, and your family, and now part of our big extended family. So, it's been a great day so far. So, it's been.
So far, so good.
As I look at my daughter, the bride, can't help but reflect on all the things that years I was lucky enough to watch you grow and become the beautiful woman that you are today. She took her time in appearing in our family of 2 people, 2 persons, Andrew and Michael. And when she did, she also brought another big brother, James. But she quickly established who is boss. She's my little girl, my princess, and no matter what your age, you'll always be that. And today, as I watch her marry a wonderful young man that has won her heart and the one that makes her happy, I'm filled with pride and confident that Alicia and Mitch are about to embark on a beautiful journey filled with love and happiness that can only come as man and wife. May the 2 of you always treat each other with love, compassion and respect, always lifting each other up. And as my belated father used to say in Russian, "Это есть красота". Yeah, это есть красота жизни. Well, simply translated, it means this is the beauty of life. And with that, let us raise a glass to the newlyweds. Didn't bring my glass. But anyway, here's to the past, all that you've learned, and to the future, all that you will share. And may the Lord God bless you abundantly.
Yeah, round of applause for Victor, ladies and gentlemen. And on that note, we will conclude our formalities for the evening. Kick back and enjoy yourselves, grab a drink. Thank you very much.